Welcome back to Crypto Atlas, your daily source for crypto whale alerts, crypto market news, and DeFi gems. And in today's episode, we've got not one, but two massive Bitcoin whale moves. We're talking nearly $200 million worth. And then we're going to dive into a mysterious insider whale shorting and closing positions within 24 hours, and what BlackRock's massive new buy-in could mean for the market. And yeah, gold just lost over $2 trillion in market cap. We'll also wrap it up with what's been happening in DC today with senators meeting top crypto players. So let's go ahead and get into it. So first up, these two Bitcoin whale alerts are wild. Just hours apart, we saw the exact same amount of Bitcoin, which was 1,747 Bitcoin, moving twice. That's around $188.7 million shifting across the blockchain. The first transaction went from an unknown wallet to another brand new wallet. Then about 50 minutes later, that same wallet moved the entire stack straight into Coinbase Institutional and Mercado Bitcoin, which are both high volume trading and custody platforms. This kind of movement usually isn't some random trader. When you see identical amounts move that cleanly in two steps, it's almost always institutional money. Think funds, over-the-counter desks, or whales setting up for a big market event. And here's what's interesting. The timing was right before US market hours. That's when corporate desks, the hedge funds, and brokers typically settle positions or prepare to rebalance. So either this was a massive sale going through Coinbase or a whale moving funds into institutional custody for upcoming exposure. Now combine that with what happened just one day earlier. Ash Crypto dropped a bombshell tweet saying, "Insider Bitcoin whale has opened a $235 million short position." A $235 million short. That's a power move. The liquidation point was listed at around $123,000, meaning whoever opened that trade had enough leverage and margin to bet that Bitcoin's price would drop significantly before it ever hit that mark. You don't make a bet like that unless you're confident you know something big is about to happen. Regulatory action, liquidation waves, ETF sell-offs, or maybe even exchange rebalancing. Now here's where it gets spicy. Less than 24 hours later, Ash Crypto again, insider Bitcoin whale, has started closing his Bitcoin short position. Can we continue the pump now? That's almost cinematic. A massive short opens, then gets closed the next day, right around the time that $188 million in Bitcoin started moving toward Coinbase Institutional. That looks like a coordinated exit. Maybe the same whale or group used that short to hedge while transferring Bitcoin for sale or custody. Once the transfer completed and the market didn't tank, they closed out the short. That's pure pro-level risk management. But here's the twist. The market didn't dump after that closure. In fact, sentiment turned bullish, and guess what dropped right after? Another tweet from Ash Crypto. Breaking: BlackRock has just bought $205 million worth of Bitcoin and $40 million worth of Ethereum. Let that sink in. The largest asset manager on Earth just spent nearly $250 million scooping up crypto. So within the same 24-hour window, we had whales moving hundreds of millions to Coinbase Institutional, a mysterious insider shorting and closing in rapid succession, and BlackRock making another massive purchase. That doesn't sound random. It sounds like coordinated capital flow. And BlackRock doesn't just randomly buy hundreds of millions in Bitcoin and Ethereum on a whim. These kinds of purchases are planned, approved, and executed through multiple desks. So this is likely part of a larger institutional rotation, money flowing out of traditional assets, maybe out of gold and into crypto exposure. And speaking of gold, Ash Crypto, again, posted another eye-opener. You have $2.4 trillion. I want to say that again. $2.4 trillion has been wiped out of the gold market cap in just 48 hours. This is almost 110% of Bitcoin's market cap. That's insane. $2.4 trillion gone from gold's market value in just 2 days. To put that in perspective, Bitcoin's entire market cap is around $2.2 trillion at the moment. It's like the gold market just lost an entire Bitcoin ecosystem in value overnight. That kind of capital doesn't just vanish, it moves. Historically, when gold faces massive outflows, it's often because institutional money is repositioning into other hedges, stocks, bonds, or more recently, crypto. If you line up the timing, gold dumped and BlackRock suddenly started buying Bitcoin and Ethereum. Really feels like the smart money is rotating. That's why those two whale transfers we started with make so much sense. They might have been part of the same global shift. Now, while all this money is flying around, something else is huge that's brewing over in Washington. Senator Cynthia Lummis tweeted this morning, "Big day in Washington for digital asset market structure." That's not just political fluff. That's code for we're about to make moves on crypto regulation. What's happening is that key Democratic lawmakers met today, October 22nd, with top crypto industry leaders. These are including reps from Coinbase, Ripple, and Circle to discuss digital asset frameworks. The focus was on market structure, which means defining how tokens are classified, whether as securities, commodities, or a new class entirely. The big deal here is that Democrats, who have traditionally been more cautious towards crypto, are finally stepping in and talking directly to the industry. That could mean they're preparing to introduce or amend a bipartisan framework similar to the Lummis-Gillibrand bill. Insiders say the meeting included discussions on stablecoin regulation, exchange oversight, and federal clarity for institutional crypto custody, something that would directly affect Coinbase Institutional, which again is where that 1,747 Bitcoin ended up. So now you see how this starts to tie in a lot more together, right? The timing of these transfers, short closures, and BlackRock's buy seem perfectly in sync with the US government's push for clearer crypto infrastructure. Institutions are clearly positioning themselves for what's next. It's almost like everyone knows a new phase is about to start. So think about it. The insider whale shorted the market before something big, probably expecting volatility around these policy talks, then closed the position just as BlackRock started buying and capital began rotating out of gold. And meanwhile, Washington's talking about regulatory clarity for digital assets. Every puzzle piece here points towards a new chapter of institutional crypto adoption. And what's wild is how all of this happened within a single 48-hour window. A massive whale transfer, a short and close by an insider, BlackRock's buy, gold's $2.4 trillion wipeout, and a political meeting that could redefine how crypto operates in America. No wonder whales are moving. They're not just trading, they're positioning for the next global reset in digital finance. And we're still early in the story. One thing's for sure, something big is brewing under the surface. There's these coordinated moves. They don't seem random. The whales, the funds, the institutions, they're getting ready for something. And that's what's making this watching on the chain alerts so powerful. It's like reading the whispers before the headlines. And if you enjoy this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do have a referral link to BTCC, this crypto exchange. You can look into it more. You can find that down in the description below. And also, I'm on Blue Sky at Crypto Atlas. Thank you so much. We just hit 40 followers. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you also to my Patreon supporters and my YouTube members. God bless you, and we'll see you in the next episode.